Hi, I'm Jim Cannon, the CEO and founder of the Sustainable Fisheries Partnership. I congratulate Seafood Legacy and the Tokyo Sustainable Seafood Summit for all their work over the years. The summit has helped align Japanese industry, civil society, and government in many key ways. It's helped companies learn from one another and reflect on what they need to do to learn from their mistakes and have higher performance. Improving fisheries and protecting the oceans is a long-term challenge. And by 2030, the industry really needs to make three big changes. The first is to realize that most countries and most governments don't have the capacity to manage fisheries effectively on their own. And it's the role of industry to figure out how to collaborate with governments to provide solutions. The second big pivot comes out of that first one is to realize that sustainability, it's not a project, it's a long-term part of your business, it's a core element. And the third pivot is to realize that protecting the oceans means working at a larger scale across ecosystems. I think Japan and Seafood Legacy and the Summit is very well placed to lead this critical change in the sustainable seafood movement by 2030. And I look forward to working with you to help that vision come about. Thank you and congratulations.
My name is Teresa Ish. I'm a Senior Program Officer and the Oceans Initiative Lead at the Walton Family Foundation. When it started 10 years ago, it really was framed as bringing people who had lots of experience in sustainability to Japan to help build awareness of sustainable seafood and sustainable fisheries in Japan. And what it's become is an opportunity for Japanese leaders to showcase what they're doing in sustainability and talk about all the progress that has been made. And that change between where we are now and when it started 10 years ago is really, I think, something that Seafood Legacy and the community of nonprofits and organizations working on sustainable seafood should be really proud of. And Japan is one of the largest seafood consumers in the world. It was increasingly important what their absence meant to our ability to improve fisheries worldwide. We need to think about due diligence, about the other tools like in the financial markets, transparency, and leadership. And that is where Japan is really starting to shine. I see Japan going forward as being a leader on some of these issues as opposed to trying to play catch up to where other markets are. And I hope that at the 10th anniversary of TSSS, we can see that leadership really emerge and see how the Japanese seafood companies, the Japanese financial markets are really starting to push and understand the importance of sustainability on their businesses and on the health of the ocean. So it's important for all of the governments to show up and engage and understand the role that they have in solving some of the biggest threats that face our oceans.
Hello, my name is Jenny Barker and I'm the Executive Director of Fishwise. I'm so pleased to congratulate Seafood Legacy on the 10-year anniversary of the Tokyo Sustainable Seafood Summit. This is a really important meeting on the global stage to talk about sustainable seafood, not just considering the environmental sustainability, but also the important conversations happening globally on human rights and social responsibility in seafood supply chains. At Fishwise, we're so pleased to have been part of the Tokyo Sustainable Seafood Summit for many years now. And we're pleased to continue our work with Seafood Legacy in the human rights due diligence space, working with companies to help improve supply chains around the world. We're also so happy to see how Japan has grown in its practice and regulation of seafood supply chains and supporting and really becoming a leader globally in sustainable seafood, in combating IUU fishing, and in supporting human rights in seafood supply chains. We are excited to see Japan continue to be a leader in the global community in sustainability far into the future. I look forward to seeing you all in Tokyo in October 2024.
So, hi everyone, it's François Monnier here from Planet Tracker. and to celebrate a 10 years anniversary of the TSSS. It's been a pleasure to see such an important event grow over the years. What I've really appreciated over the years with the work that Seafood Legacy is doing is how a broad collaboration of actors have actually been put together and contributed to improve the sustainability of seafood in Japan. So there are things that we need to celebrate, such as a change in IUU law and import regulation. That's a major milestone. But also at the corporate level, we are the first one to always push companies to do more. And it's true that some companies have done a bit more when it comes to bycatch reduction, for instance, or ghost fishing in Japan. However, there's still a lot more work that needs to be done. So I hope that by 2030, if hopefully I'm still standing there and doing the same work, I can celebrate the elimination of illegal fishing in Japanese seafood supply chain, complete disappearing of overfishing as well. Yes, and hope to be with you to celebrate that in 2030. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris Dennis. I'm the CEO of the Aquaculture Stewardship Council, and I've been with the organisation since 2011, and we have a lot of fun driving responsible seafood farming. So it's hard to believe, Wakao, that TSSS is a decade old, and I can really remember those early days when there were these first presentations about the ambition of the organisation. So a huge congratulations to you, because you've made a difference. And I think when we look back at the history of sustainable seafood in Japan, then TSSS has made a great contribution and catalyzed a lot of actions 10 years ago. Japan has always been there as a leader in seafood. And I think Japan's approach has been, cautious, and I think cautious when you compare it to some other countries on this journey towards sustainable seafood. But nonetheless, it's been steady progress, and that's to be congratulated. I really sense that when you think about the history of Japan, when you think about what's happening in the marketplace, and I think what you see from consumers, I think there's much more interest in sustainable seafood, and I think that will be translated into more ambitious actions in the marketplace. So I really expect, more from the market. I think Japan has always been a huge regional player in the seafood sector. You look at the numbers of, all of the leading fishing corporations are based in Japan, and even some of the smaller ones by Japanese standards are bigger than their counterparts in other markets. So there's a huge presence internationally. But within the region, Japan is a market that attracts a lot of seafood from within the region. And I think the influence of Japan extends to the region, and we see the benefits of that through those supply chains adopting sustainable practices. Thank you.
So my name's Martin Exel. I'm the Managing Director of the Seafood Business for Ocean Stewardship, which is a unique collaboration between 8 of the world's largest seafood businesses. I think TSS and in fact Japan in particular has made huge strides in the last 5 years since I've been Managing Director, and decade probably. And I think the TSS is a particularly good focal point for people to exchange ideas, have dialogue, understand each other's positions, and then leave and think about, how can we implement change in our organisation or in our local province or wherever it may be. And it's been a very powerful advocate for sustainable seafood production in Japan, while not preaching to people about what they must do. And that's really important. It's creating solutions that everybody can work with. Japan is a nation not just dependent on seafood, but it is part of Japan's heart and soul. My experience again with Japan, I think Japan will leap ahead. Most importantly, I believe by 2030, you will see much greater collective action and collaboration amongst the Japanese fishing businesses to create solutions. It would be great in TSSS if I could see the leaders of the Japan industry stand up and announce these are the tangible outcomes and actions they have taken to address the key problems that exist with seafood production.
Hello, I'm Greg Brown from the Global Dialogue on Seafood Traceability, and we are very proud and honored to be involved with Tokyo Sustainable Seafood Summit this year, the 10th anniversary year of the Seafood Legacy program. It's exciting for us because we're celebrating with them this year at the summit on 10 years of success in the sustainability space. Nobody has moved the needle in Japan the way Seafood Legacy has, and we have been proud to be associated with Seafood Legacy in this important work that they've been doing. Important goal that we would like to support Seafood Legacy on is the transition to 2030 and all of the big sustainability objectives that Seafood Legacy is working on in the Japanese marketplace for the Seafood 2030 goals and objectives. So in this case, we see, of course, because we're from traceability, we see traceability as an important aspect of this goal, and we're supporting 100% the Japanese implementation of traceability according to the GDST standard.